Namaste. Students, I hope you are enjoying the course. By now, you have learnt quite a bit. You know how to transcribe, recite and dance the various rhythmic compositions. And you also know the various movements of the hands and the feet. You have also learnt expressive and communicative items, abhinay. And regarding the theory, you have learned about the origin, the history and the development of Kathak. You must be marveling at the fact as to how this art form, which originated in the temples of ancient India, gradually transformed itself and became such a sophisticated dance style. In fact, every art form, especially a performing art form, has to expand, has to present itself in novel ways in order to survive. When first an art form starts, maybe it is in its rudimentary stage, but gradually different influences come in, both foreign and indigenous. And again, various political, social, religious and cultural impacts are there on a performing art style. And that is how it grows. In fact, every branch of knowledge grows in this way. And that is why knowledge is compared to a river. Think of a river. It starts as a little rivulet, a mountain stream, and as it goes along, tributaries join it, water bodies join it, it expands, it swells, and so too does knowledge. And that is why the deity of wisdom and learning is Saraswati, a name taken from the river. Now sometimes we wonder, what is it that brings in new ideas into an art form? In every performing art, there has to be something new every time you present it. An audience which has raved over your performance today might be bored with the same performance tomorrow. And so, you have to bring in new presentations. Even in the days when the performances were there in the temples, the mythological stories were changed to bring in new concepts, new ideas. Then, patrons often desire a change, and in order to please them, the dance form has also remodeled itself. When the Islamic rulers started patronizing Kathak, then the mythological stories had to be replaced, and so a vast body of abstract dance came into the dance style. Cultural, social, religious, political milieu have helped to transform and expand Kathak. Kathak has absorbed, assimilated and broadened as a result of the various exposures it has received. In the beautiful atmosphere of the Lucknow court, with Wajid Ali Shah presiding over it, where sophistication and refinement were the bywords, Kathak became a beautiful, graceful dance style. Then, in Rajasthan, with its martial spirit, the Jaipur gharana of Kathak took on a vigorous and powerful style. In the area of Mathura, Vrindavan and Benares, the devotional spirit imbued the dance form. Then, when foreign influences come, initially they pose a threat because either you have to be better than them or you have to assimilate and take on what is outstanding in them. In fact, this process of assimilation is very important. But you have to always remember that by borrowing, you cannot lose your own style. The resilience has to be there to maintain your very own performance. And so, Kathak was empowered with the fast footwork, vigorous movements, and pirouettes of the Central Asian dance forms. And again, we must say that novelty is also brought in because of the individual genius of the creative artists. Every great artist wants to create something new, wants to give something to the art form. And so today we have this very powerful, very diverse, rich and sophisticated Kathak dance style. Now, a question that may come to your minds is that since you have learned dance for such a long time, what will you do with your knowledge? What is your future? Of course, you can become very good teachers and your students will benefit from your knowledge, and in this way, you will carry on the cultural heritage of our country. But again, if you have taken up performing arts, you want to become an artist and not just a teacher. Previously, there were very few Kathak dancers, but today the field has expanded and more powerful dancers are coming into our stream. Moreover, there is competition with dancers of other styles and with artists of all performing arts forms. Competition from within our country and outside, from the classical world as well as the creative, from the regional and the folk. And so today, dancers really have to work hard in order to make their presence felt in this competitive area. Today, we don't have patrons in the way of kings, nor do we have the various music conferences that were in vogue at one time. In fact, they are dwindling. But again, the government and private organizers have come in a very big way. But again, every artist must remember that this is the age of the democratization of Kathak, when your individual popularity is going to give you performances. For every organizer wants an artist who can draw audiences. The more people who come to watch you and who rave over you, well, they will decide on your future. So we really have to work hard in order to build up a very dedicated group of viewers, or in general, a huge viewership. Now, of course, other fields are opening up. We have the cinema, the television, then various festivals in which dance is portrayed. For instance, there are religious festivals and tourism festivals. But again, we must remember that we have to be very popular and very much wanted, so to say, by the audience. students ask me which gharana of Kathak I am teaching. Now let me tell you that in this age, the narrow confines of one guru and his specialized gharana are no longer relevant. In the university syllabi, we also have items from different gharanas. In fact, this openness started as early as 1895 when Chunnilalji, the doyen of the Jaipur Gharana, sent his son Sundar Prasadji to learn from the great maestro Bindadin Maharaj of the Lucknow Gharana. Sundar Prasad was always a devoted follower of Bindadin Maharaj. And in fact, in Sundar Prasadji's dance style, we can clearly see a blend of the Lucknow and Jaipur dance styles, which he again carried over to his students like Roshan Kumari and Durgalal. Then, in the palace of Raja Chakradhar Singh, during the earlier part of the 20th century, there were many great gurus who were residing under the patronage of the Raja. And there, the students learned from the stalwarts of the Jaipur, the Lucknow and the Benares Gharana. And so there was this blend. This was a time when Sukhdev Maharaj was there with his children, and he encouraged his 3 daughters and 2 sons to learn from Achan Maharaj, Lachu Maharaj and Shambhu Maharaj of the Lucknow Gharana and Jailalji of the Jaipur Gharana. In fact, these children later became great artists. Sitara Devi, Tara Devi, Alaknanda Devi, Chaube Maharaj, Pandey Maharaj. Although Sukhdev Maharaj hailed from Benares, he actually never lived in Benares for long. He had learned from his uncles of the Lucknow Gharana, from Bindadin Maharaj and Kalka Prasad, and then he was the court dancer at Nepal and also at Mymensingh. Sukhdev Maharaj always encouraged his children to learn from various gurus. And another great step which he took was to make his daughters learn and perform Kathak. Those were the days when traditional families of Kathak dancers did not allow their daughters to perform Kathak. In fact, that was a time when a lady dancing Kathak was looked down on as a baiji and as a tawaif. But Sukhdev Maharaj took this step, for which reason he was even ostracized by his family. But because of his boldness, we had a great dancer like Sitara Devi. Also, Sukhdev Maharaj, he had the openness to accept the new medium that was coming forward, the cinema. And he encouraged his daughter Sitara and his grandson Gopi Krishna to perform in cinemas. In fact, Gopi Krishna's landmark performance in Jhanak Jhanak Payal Baji not only established him as a superstar, but made Kathak popular throughout India and even beyond. In fact, Jhanak Jhanak Payal Baji got a number of awards in the film world, and because of this film, Kathak became such a loved dance form. It surpassed the age of the coterie performances, and it was being performed everywhere and being accepted by everyone. The film Jhanak Jhanak Payal Baji by V. Shantaram was an immediate hit, when it was released in 1955, everybody was raving about it. Not only did this film make Gopi Krishna a superstar, but it also made Kathak a loved art form throughout India and beyond. Gone were the days when it was being performed within a little coterie. It was now a popular dance form performed throughout the world. The film and the television media have done a great deal for the art form of Kathak. It has popularized it because previously only those who saw the performance in an auditorium or an arena were exposed to it. Now, the viewership was expanded. Moreover, these forms gave a permanence to the dance. In fact, it was recorded and preserved and did not end with the performance. Now, in this age, with so many talented dancers and so many opportunities for performances, artists are experimenting with new ideas and new formations. And choreography now is very popular. The word choreography is of Greek origin, and it means literally to write dance. Actually, forming various dance movements into a composite whole for presentation on the stage is choreography. Now, more and more dancers, especially mature and seasoned dancers, are working with choreographic patterns because there are so many expert dancers who are available. Previously, when there were few dancers, people had to fall back on the solo performances. Today, we have more and more group performances, and they are very relevant because the stage arena has become larger, the audience size has become larger, and so we need a stupendous presentation. Now, for a Kathak dancer, I think choreographing within the Kathak style is, in a way, easy because you are familiar with the language of Kathak. You know how to use your hands, your feet, your movements, your expression. And again, when you're working with expert dancers, they can very easily pick up what you are teaching them. Now think of creative dancers. They have to create the entire sequence, and maybe the people who are working with them are not that adept with these movements. But that does not mean that Kathak choreography is very easy or very simple or does not entail any hard work. No, there is so much to think of. First of all, the music, the tempo, the movements, the sequence of movements, then the use of the stage space, how to use the entire stage. Like, you can think of the stage as a picture. A proscenium stage is like a canvas in which you can make dancers move and you can form various patterns. Then again, thinking about the lighting, about the makeup, these are also very important because gone are those days when you had flat lighting and when the audience was just interested in seeing what the dancer was doing, on just concentrating on the movements. Now the audience sits back and sees the entire presentation as a painting. And so, all these elements are very important. Lighting, use of stage space, costumes, then combining various movements. Now, what prompts artists to choreograph? Sometimes it is for a special occasion, maybe an important political event or a religious festival, or maybe sometimes the patrons want the choreography to be presented in a certain theme. Again, a choreographer might have certain ideas of his own, and he or she maybe wants to present a symbolic picture of his own thoughts. So today, the field is expanding. There is so much to choose from, so many stories to take from, so many musical pieces which can be involved. And so choreography is expanding. The field of Kathak is expanding. And I want each and every one of you to start your own hand at creating, at choreographing. I'm sure you will do very well. In the beginning, it is a good idea to see some performances and then gradually evolve your own. And so with this, we will end our lesson today. In the next lesson, which is the final one, we will revise all that you have learned so that you will be well prepared for the examinations and will do very well and become wonderful, I will no longer say students, but wonderful performers, and go on to become great teachers and choreographers. Thank you. I wish you all the best.